A lot changes after 60, doesn't it? The way you think, the way you move, even the way you see yourself in the mirror. And for many women I meet, the one thing they never quite expect to change as much as it does is their hair. Maybe it's thinner than it used to be. Maybe it's not growing the way it did years ago. Or maybe every morning feels like a battle just to get it to behave. If that sounds familiar, let me tell you something right up front. You're not alone. Not even close. I've spent decades behind the salon chair, listening to stories, working with hair that's seen everything from the disco era to FaceTime calls with grandkids. And let me tell you, every woman who's sat in that chair, no matter how different her background, had one thing in common. She wanted to feel like herself again. Not 25 again. Just herself, but refreshed, understood, and confident. Because here's the truth. Beauty after 60 isn't about trying to turn back the clock. It's about choosing to move forward with style, grace, and a little bit of fun. Hair plays a big role in how we feel about ourselves. When it looks good, we feel good. When it's not quite right, it has a way of bothering us all day long. Like a tag in the back of your shirt you keep feeling but can't see. And sadly, a lot of the advice out there today is just not made for women like you. It's for teenagers, or 20-somethings with time, energy, and hair that hasn't yet been through menopause, hormone shifts, or decades of color treatments. That's why this matters. I want to walk you through 10 of the most common hair mistakes I see women over 60 make. Not because they're doing anything wrong, but because no one ever explained what's actually going on with their hair as it ages. And more importantly, I want to show you what to do instead, simple, realistic changes that can completely transform how your hair looks and how you feel when you look in the mirror. Before we begin, I'd love to know which city you are watching from. Drop in the comments below and hit the subscribe button for more valuable insights and tips. Alright, let's get started. 1. Ignoring hair thinning, the silent shift you shouldn't overlook. Let's start with something almost every woman over 60 experiences, but hardly anyone talks about: hair thinning. It doesn't happen overnight, and because the change is so gradual, it's easy to ignore, until one day you realize your part looks wider, your ponytail feels skinnier, or your scalp is suddenly peeking through more than it used to. Now, I want to tell you something important right here. This is not your fault. Thinning hair isn't because you didn't take care of it or used the wrong shampoo years ago. It's science. As we age, especially post-menopause, our estrogen levels drop, and that hormone plays a big role in how full and strong our hair grows. Blood flow to the scalp slows down too, and the natural hair growth cycle shortens, meaning strands don't grow as long or as thick as they used to. But here's the good news. You're not helpless in this. You don't have to settle for watching your volume disappear. You just need a different approach, one that's made for where you are now, not where you were 20 years ago. First, let's talk haircuts. The biggest mistake I see women make is clinging to long, heavy styles that drag everything down. When your hair is thinning, length can work against you. Instead, go for layered cuts that add movement and make your hair appear fuller. Even subtle layering can lift your roots and make your silhouette look softer and more youthful. You don't need a drastic chop, just a smart one. Next, products. What worked for you at 45 probably isn't doing much at 65. Thinning hair needs lightweight volumizers. Think mousse instead of heavy creams. Avoid anything that weighs hair down or leaves it looking flat by noon. And don't underestimate the power of ingredients. Biotin and vitamin D are two of the most researched nutrients when it comes to supporting hair strength. You can get them through supplements, but also look for them in your hair care products. Your scalp matters too. A scalp massager used a few times a week can help stimulate blood flow and support healthier follicles. It's a small change with a big impact. And now, let me tell you about Linda. She's 72 and had come to me frustrated. My hair's just disappearing, she said. She had always worn it in a long, low ponytail and didn't think she had any other option. But together, we shifted her to a soft, shoulder-length cut with gentle layers. We switched her to a volumizing shampoo with no sulfates and added a simple scalp serum with biotin and peptides. Within 3 months, her hair not only looked fuller, it felt stronger. But what I'll never forget is what she said at her next appointment. I finally stopped avoiding mirrors. And that's really what this is about, isn't it? Feeling good again when you see your reflection. knowing that your hair still has potential. It just needs a little help adjusting to where life has taken you. So if you've been noticing more hair in the brush, a little extra scalp showing, or just not feeling like yourself when you style your hair, I want you to know, you're not alone, and it's not too late. Start small. Try a new part. Ask your stylist about layers. Look at your products. You don't need to do everything at once. Just something. 2. Holding on to outdated hairstyles when familiar becomes a hiding place. Some hairstyles aren't just styles. They're memories. Maybe you've worn your hair the same way since your kids were in high school. Maybe your look reminds you of a time when you felt more in control, more confident, more you. And changing that feels like letting go of a part of your story. That feeling is real. I've heard it from women sitting in my chair for years, the hesitation to switch it up, not because they don't want to look good, but because they're afraid they won't recognize the woman staring back at them if they do. But here's something to sit with for a moment. The woman you are today deserves just as much attention, care, and style as the one you were 20 or 30 years ago. Holding on to a haircut from decades ago might feel safe, but sometimes it quietly starts working against you. What used to be flattering and fresh can begin to look heavy, dated, or even a little severe, especially when your features have softened or your hair texture has changed. This isn't about chasing trends or trying to look younger. It's about finding a style that fits your current self, one that lifts your features, complements your coloring, and moves the way your hair moves now. A modern cut doesn't mean losing your identity. Done right, it actually brings more of it forward. A great place to start is with subtle changes that refresh your look without overwhelming you. A softer fringe instead of straight-across bangs. Layers that frame the face instead of a one-length curtain. Even adjusting where your part falls can bring more openness and light to your face. These are not dramatic overhauls. They're smart, simple updates that respect your story while helping you show up fully in your present. Let me tell you about Clara. She was 68, had worn a chin-length bob with no layers since the 80s, and felt invisible. She told me, "I don't want to look trendy. I just want to feel seen again." We added soft layering around her cheekbones, opened up her part slightly to one side, and brought a little movement to the back. No drastic color change, no chopping it all off, just a few intentional shifts. At her next visit, she walked in grinning. 3 people asked me if I'd lost weight or gotten a lift, but all I changed was my haircut. That's the power of a thoughtful update. Not a makeover, but a reflection. One that says I still care and I still count. If you've been wearing the same cut for years, take a moment to ask yourself, is it still doing something for you? Or are you just afraid of what might happen if you let it go? You don't have to lose yourself. You just have to make room for who you are today. 3. Overlooking hair color changes, embracing the silver. As we age, our hair changes in more ways than just texture. One of the most noticeable transformations, the color. The loss of melanin, the pigment that gives hair its color, is completely natural, but it can leave you with hair that seems dull, flat, or even graying faster than you expected. The thought of seeing more silver and less of the rich tones you've loved for years can feel like losing something important. But what if I told you that silver hair, when embraced, can be absolutely radiant? It's a common scenario. You start to see a few gray strands, then a little more, and eventually your natural color doesn't quite match the person you see in the mirror anymore. There's an emotional pull here, too. Your hair color is a part of who you've always been. But here's the thing, it's also a part of who you are becoming. Graying hair isn't a sign of something lost, but rather a beautiful reflection of the life you've lived, the wisdom you've gathered, and the experiences that have shaped you. Let's talk science for a moment. As your hair turns gray or white, it's not just the color that changes. The texture shifts too. You may notice it feels drier or thinner, and it can sometimes look a bit flat, lacking the depth and luster it once had. That's because the reduction in melanin affects the hair's ability to reflect light in the same way. But just because the natural color changes doesn't mean your hair has to lose its vibrancy. Here's where strategic color can make all the difference. If you're looking to embrace your grays without going fully silver right away, consider adding dimensional highlights. These highlights mimic the natural depth of youthful hair, adding soft contrast and warmth that brighten your complexion. Balayage, for example, can blend seamlessly with your natural color, letting those silver strands pop without looking harsh. This can give you a natural, sun-kissed effect that enhances the grays instead of fighting them. On the flip side, if you're not ready to give up the idea of coloring your hair, it's important to avoid harsh dyes that might leave your hair feeling brittle or dry. Opting for more gentle, semi-permanent options or ammonia-free dyes will keep your hair feeling healthier and more vibrant. Let me share a story with you. A 72-year-old client came to me feeling frustrated with her hair. The grays had started coming in fast, and she wasn't sure how to manage them. "I just don't feel like myself anymore," she told me. Instead of covering up the silver, we decided to enhance it with some soft, honey-colored highlights mixed with her natural gray. The result was stunning. She was glowing. The new color added depth, warmth, and a modern touch to her hair, and it made her feel fresh without losing any of her identity. "I look like a whole new woman," she said with tears in her eyes. "But I still feel like me." Hair color, just like style, is all about choices. You don't have to rush into drastic changes, but embracing the natural shift in color doesn't mean sacrificing style or elegance. Whether you go for highlights or choose to celebrate your natural silver, the key is to wear it with pride. Your silver hair is just as beautiful as any color you've had before. It's simply a new chapter of your journey. 4. Using the wrong hair products, choosing what's best for mature hair. As your hair matures, it absorbs products differently than it used to. Many of the products that once worked wonders might not give you the results they used to, or they might even make things worse. Aging hair tends to be more porous, which means it absorbs moisture and product more quickly, but it can also lose it faster. This can lead to hair feeling dry, lifeless, and flat. The key to rejuvenating your hair isn't always about adding more products. It's about choosing the right ones. Let's start with what you might be using now. Older formulas that are rich in heavy silicones or sulfates can weigh your hair down and strip it of the natural oils it needs to stay healthy. If you've noticed that your hair feels greasy or brittle even after washing, this might be the culprit. On the other hand, using the wrong shampoo or conditioner can leave your hair dry and prone to breakage, especially if you have fine or fragile strands. So what's the solution? When shopping for hair products, think lightweight. Look for shampoos and conditioners that are sulfate-free and don't contain heavy silicones. Sulfates are cleansing agents found in many shampoos that can be too harsh for aging hair, stripping it of moisture. A sulfate-free formula is gentler and helps maintain the natural moisture balance of your hair, leaving it feeling soft, manageable, and healthy. Another product you might want to add to your routine is biotin or vitamin D supplements. These can help nourish your hair from the inside out. Biotin is especially known for its role in supporting hair growth and strengthening hair, and vitamin D can help improve scalp health, which in turn supports healthier hair follicles. You might also want to consider switching to products specifically designed for aging hair, which can often offer a lighter feel and more nourishment. A good, lightweight mousse can help provide volume without weighing down your hair. If you have curly hair, consider a curl cream that doesn't have heavy ingredients that can leave your hair feeling crunchy or stiff. For those with fine hair, a dry shampoo can help give volume at the roots without having to add extra moisture to your strands. Let me tell you a real story that shows just how powerful the right product can be. Lily, a 68-year-old woman, came to me feeling frustrated with her hair. "It just doesn't bounce like it used to," she said. "It feels limp and lifeless no matter what I do." After assessing her routine, we realized she was using a shampoo that was too heavy for her fine hair and a conditioner that was weighing her down. I recommended she switch to a sulfate-free shampoo and use a light volumizing mousse for styling. After just a few weeks, her hair had so much more volume and bounce, and she felt like her old self again. "It's like I have a whole new head of hair," she told me, beaming. Choosing the right products can make all the difference in the world. They don't just make your hair look better. They help you feel better about your hair, too. So, if you've been using products that aren't working for you anymore, it might be time to reevaluate and choose formulas that are gentler and more suited to the needs of your mature hair. 5. Skipping regular trims, why you should keep up with the snip. It's a common myth that skipping regular trims will help your hair grow longer. But the truth is quite the opposite. In fact, regular trims are essential for maintaining healthy hair, especially as we age. You may think that the longer your hair grows, the less you should cut it, but doing so can actually lead to more damage and slower growth in the long run. As we age, our hair becomes more fragile and prone to splitting. Without trims, those split ends travel up the hair shaft, leading to even more damage. The ends of your hair are the oldest part, and they need regular attention to prevent fraying, which not only makes your hair look dull, but also leads to more breakage. If you skip trims for months or even years, you might notice that your hair starts to look frizzy and lifeless, and styling it becomes a struggle. The more you fight with your hair, the more frustrated you may become, and this can create a negative cycle. The good news is that you don't have to cut off huge lengths every time you visit your stylist. Trims are about keeping your hair healthy and removing just enough to maintain its shape. For shorter haircuts with precise lines, it's recommended to get a trim every 4 to 6 weeks to keep that sharp, defined look. For shoulder-length styles, every 8 weeks is ideal to prevent the ends from looking wispy. And for longer hair, you can go about 10 to 12 weeks between trims. This ensures that your ends stay healthy, and your hair can continue growing without interruption. But I know what you might be thinking. Regular trims sound expensive, and you're not wrong. Salon visits can add up, especially if you're on a fixed income. However, there are ways to keep up with trims without breaking the bank. You can take advantage of discounted services at beauty schools, or try booking your appointments on slower days to get a better price. Many salons also offer mini trim services at a reduced cost, which can be a great way to maintain your hair without spending too much. Let me tell you about Sophia, a 73-year-old retired teacher, who came to me with hair she hadn't trimmed in over a year. She'd been growing it out and didn't want to cut any length off, thinking it would make her hair longer and fuller. However, when I looked at her hair, the ends were split and frayed, which made it look thin and unkempt. We agreed on a trim schedule that would remove just half an inch every 10 weeks. 6 months later, Sophia came in for a trim, and her daughter was waiting for her in the salon. She handed Patricia a bouquet of flowers and said, "Mom's confidence is blooming right along with her hair." Sophia's hair had not only grown but had become fuller and healthier, and her new trim gave her hair that fresh, bouncy look she had been missing. Most importantly, Sophia felt more confident than she had in years. Regular trims don't just keep your hair looking its best. They also help you feel your best, which is why it's one of the most important things you can do for your hair. So, if you've been holding off on your trims, don't wait any longer. A small amount of regular maintenance will help your hair grow healthier, and it will save you time and frustration in styling. After all, when your hair is healthy, styling becomes easier and more enjoyable. 6. Overusing heat styling tools, protecting your hair from damage. There's no denying that heat styling tools, like curling irons and flat irons, can create gorgeous, sleek looks. But when it comes to aging hair, these tools can quickly become a problem. The heat we apply to our hair, especially after 60, can cause more harm than good, and it's not always obvious at first. The reason: as we age, our hair becomes more delicate, and it no longer has the same natural moisture it once did. When we expose it to high heat, the moisture inside evaporates much faster, leaving the hair shaft dry and brittle. You may have noticed that after a heat styling session, your hair feels rough, even after conditioning. It may not have the same shine or softness it once did. The ends can start to split despite regular trims, and you might see more breakage when you comb or brush. If you're seeing baby hairs around your hairline or broken pieces, it's likely a sign of heat damage. This damage can be especially concerning because as we age, our hair's natural ability to recover from damage slows down. While younger hair can sometimes bounce back after occasional heat styling, mature hair doesn't have the same repair process. Prolonged exposure to heat can lead to permanent damage, so it's important to be mindful of how often you're using these tools. Now, I'm not saying you have to give up heat styling altogether. It's all about moderation and using the right techniques to protect your hair. For starters, try embracing air drying whenever possible. For shorter haircuts, you can use a lightweight mousse on damp hair and direct it with your fingers to create natural volume. For medium-length hair, Consider using large self-grip rollers while your hair is still damp. This will create beautiful waves without any heat. If you prefer to style your longer hair, you can try braiding it while damp for heat-free waves that are soft and natural. When heat styling is absolutely necessary, there are ways to minimize the damage. Always stay below 300 degrees Fahrenheit when using styling tools on fine or damaged hair. Using a heat protectant spray before applying any heat is a must. This forms a barrier that helps shield your hair from the direct heat, making it less likely to suffer from dryness and breakage. And most importantly, never, ever apply heat to wet hair. Wet hair is more vulnerable to heat damage, and styling it this way can cause it to snap and break easily. Let me share Emma's story with you. Emma, a 66-year-old client who had been flat ironing her hair daily for decades. She loved the sleek, straight look, but over time, her hair started feeling more and more fragile. She noticed increased breakage, and the texture of her hair became coarse, no matter how much she conditioned it. Together, we created a heat detox plan. Emma decided to limit heat styling to just once a week, and we focused on heat-free styling methods for the rest of the week. After just 8 weeks, Emma's hair began to improve significantly. New growth looked healthier, and the hair she had left was softer and shinier. She even started to embrace her natural texture, which gave her a fresh new look without relying on the flat iron. As Emma put it, "I never knew my natural texture could look so good." The key takeaway here is that heat styling doesn't have to be your hair's worst enemy. With the right techniques and a little more attention to how you treat your hair, you can still enjoy styling without causing long-term damage. It's all about finding a balance, protecting your hair, and giving it the care it needs to stay healthy. 7. Ignoring growth patterns. Embrace what nature gave you. As we get older, our hair often behaves in ways we may not expect. You might notice that no matter how hard you try to style your hair, it naturally falls in a certain direction. It might sweep across your forehead or stand up at your crown in a way that you just can't control. This isn't because your hair is stubborn. This is simply your unique hair growth pattern at work. Every person's hair grows in its own natural direction, and over time, these patterns can become even more pronounced. As our hair thins and becomes finer with age, it can lose some of the weight that kept it in place, which means the natural growth direction can become more noticeable. This can lead to cowlicks, a shifted part, or hair that tends to lift at the crown. For many of us, this change is frustrating. We often try to fight our hair's natural inclinations, using excessive amounts of product or heat styling tools in an attempt to force our hair into submission. But trying to control these natural growth patterns can result in endless frustration. You style your hair, only for it to shift back to its natural position by the afternoon, leaving you with an uneven or flat look. This cycle can be exhausting. Instead of fighting your hair, it's much easier and healthier to work with it. Understanding your natural growth patterns and embracing them can save you time, energy, and frustration. For example, if you have a cowlick at your crown, ask your stylist to cut that section of hair slightly longer to give it some weight. This can help control the lift and make it easier to style. If you have a widow's peak, consider side-swept bangs that follow your natural growth direction rather than trying to force blunt bangs that fight against it. In many cases, the key to a great style is learning to embrace the way your hair naturally wants to behave. If your part has shifted with age, it might be time to let go of the old part you've been using for years and work with your new natural part. This can actually give your hair more volume and reduce the daily battle of trying to style it into place. Take Helen's experience, for example. Helen is a 78-year-old former flight attendant who had spent years trying to change her strong natural side part to a center part. She believed that a center part would create a more balanced look for her face. But despite her efforts, her hair always shifted back to the side part throughout the day, leaving her feeling frustrated. When we finally embraced her natural side part and designed a cut that worked with it, Helen was amazed at the difference. "I've spent over 50 years fighting my hair," she laughed. Who knew surrender could be so liberating? She felt more at peace with her hair, and her daily styling routine became a lot simpler. It's important to remember that your hair's growth pattern is a part of who you are. By accepting it and designing your style around it, you'll find that your hair behaves much better, leaving you with a look that's more natural and flattering. There's no need to keep fighting nature. Embracing your growth pattern will only help you feel more comfortable in your own skin. 8. Not considering face shape the secret to flattering hairstyles. We all have unique face shapes, and as we age, these shapes may change a little. The natural contours of your face might soften, your cheeks might lose a bit of volume, and your jawline may no longer be as defined as it once was. These changes aren't something to fear. They're simply a part of the beauty of aging. However, they do mean that the hairstyle you once loved may not be the most flattering anymore. And that's okay. The key to an amazing look is choosing a hairstyle that complements and enhances your face shape. It's not about following trends or trying to look younger. It's about finding a style that enhances your features and makes you feel confident. A good hairstyle should work with your face's natural shape, not against it. By doing so, you can bring balance, lift, and proportion to your face, no matter your age. So how do you determine your face shape? It's easier than it sounds. Start by pulling all of your hair back away from your face and take a good look in the mirror. Look at the outline of your face. Is it round, oval, square, heart-shaped, or long? Notice where the widest part of your face is and where your chin and forehead sit in relation to each other. Your face shape is a unique and wonderful feature that can guide you to a hairstyle that will work in your favor. For example, if you have a round face, styles that add height at the crown and length below the chin are flattering because they create the illusion of a more oval shape. If you have a heart-shaped face, soft, side-swept bangs, and a cut that adds volume around the jawline can balance the narrower chin and add some softness. Square faces tend to look great with layered cuts that start at the cheekbones. These layers soften the strong jawline and add movement to the hair. Long faces benefit from bangs or volume on the sides of the face to add width and break up the length. Choosing the right cut based on your face shape doesn't just create a more flattering look. It can also make you feel more confident. Take Georgina's story, for instance. Georgina is a 69-year-old woman with a heart-shaped face. She'd been wearing the same blunt, shoulder-length cut for decades, but when we took her face shape into consideration, we created a more layered style with side-swept bangs and volume around her jawline. The change was subtle, but the reaction was huge. "My daughter asked if I'd had work done," Georgina laughed. "I just have a better haircut." She felt like a new woman, and her daughter noticed the difference right away. Georgina had never felt more confident and youthful without trying to look young. It's important to remember that your face shape is a beautiful part of who you are. As your face changes over time, your hairstyle can evolve with it. You don't need to follow the latest trends. You need a cut that suits your natural features and makes you feel your best. That's the real beauty of embracing your unique face shape. 9. Wearing hair too tight, protecting your scalp and hairline. As we age, our hair naturally changes, becoming thinner and more fragile. With this change, our scalp and hair follicles become more sensitive. While it's tempting to tie your hair back in a sleek ponytail or a tight bun to keep things tidy, these styles can actually do more harm than good, especially as we get older. Wearing your hair too tight too often can lead to a condition known as traction alopecia, a form of hair loss caused by constant tension on the hair and scalp. Traction alopecia is subtle at first, but over time, it can become more noticeable. It usually affects areas of the scalp that experience the most tension, like your hairline, temples, and the area behind your ears. The repetitive stress on the hair follicles from tight hairstyles can cause the hair to weaken and break. The worst part is that, once the hair follicles are damaged, they may not fully recover, which can lead to permanent hair loss in those areas. It's essential to listen to your scalp and give it the rest it deserves. If you notice any tenderness, redness, or small bumps around your hairline, or if your scalp feels sore after wearing a tight hairstyle, it's a sign that the tension might be too much. Similarly, headaches that follow a tight hairstyle or a receding hairline are also signs that your hair is being pulled too tight. So what's the solution? It's simple: loosen up. Instead of tight ponytails or buns, try going for more gentle styles that still look chic, but won't put unnecessary strain on your scalp. For example, you can create a soft, low bun secured with open pins instead of tight elastics. Loose braids positioned slightly to the side can look sophisticated without pulling on your hairline. And if you need to secure your hair, consider using fabric-covered elastic bands, which are gentler on your strands compared to traditional rubber bands. Wide-toothed combs and pins are also much better options when creating updos, as they don't tug on the hair. One of my clients, Emily, a 74-year-old former executive, came to me concerned about her increasingly visible scalp along her hairline. After years of wearing tight styles like tight buns and braids, she noticed her hairline was receding, and the hair around her temples was thinning. We made the simple change of loosening up her hairstyles. Instead of pulling her hair tight, she switched to softer, looser techniques that didn't put as much tension on her scalp. Within just a few months, Emily noticed fine new growth appearing around her temples, and her scalp no longer looked as visible. "Such a simple change made a huge difference," she said, "and I feel so much more comfortable now." So, if you've been rocking tight hairstyles, it's time to give your hairline some love. Loose, elegant styles are not only more comfortable, but they can also help preserve the health of your hair and scalp in the long run. 10. Forgetting the power of accessories, elevating your style with a simple touch. Hair accessories aren't just pretty little extras. They are incredibly powerful tools that can transform not only how your hair looks, but how you feel about it. Whether it's a simple clip, an elegant scarf, or a stylish headband, accessories can provide an immediate boost to your overall appearance and help you embrace your unique beauty. As we get older, our hair undergoes a number of changes, and it can sometimes feel like it's harder to style or control. But the right accessories can work wonders, both practically and psychologically. They offer a sense of confidence that comes from knowing that you're enhancing your natural beauty without having to drastically change your hairstyle. Accessories also allow you to express your personality and creativity, giving you a fresh way to approach your look each day. Think about it. A beautifully placed clip can hide thinning spots around your temples, while a stylish silk scarf tied around your head can effortlessly disguise growing out bangs or roots. The best part? You don't have to deal with the stress of overstyling your hair, as these accessories do the work for you in a way that feels natural and effortless. For more formal occasions, subtle accessories like tortoiseshell clips or elegant combs can add a touch of polish without looking juvenile. On casual days, you might prefer something a bit more playful, like a colorful scarf or a decorative bobby pin. There's no limit to how you can express yourself through these finishing touches. One of my clients, Daisy, a 76-year-old former art professor, truly transformed her relationship with her hair through accessories. After chemotherapy caused significant hair loss, she began to collect scarves in vibrant colors. When her hair started to grow back, now silver instead of brown, she incorporated those scarves into her daily routine. What started as a practical way to cover up hair loss eventually became her signature style. "People stopped seeing my thin spots and started complimenting my style," Daisy told me. Those scarves were no longer just a way to hide. They became an essential part of her look, empowering her to feel confident and beautiful every day. Accessories aren't just about enhancing your appearance. They have a profound psychological impact. They can turn an ordinary hair day into one where you feel polished, put together, and, most importantly, like yourself. By embracing these small, yet mighty additions to your style, you can not only improve how you look but also boost how you feel. If you've been underestimating the power of accessories, it's time to give them a second thought. Try incorporating a scarf, a cute clip, or a stylish headband into your routine, and watch how it can change the way you view your hair. At any age, it's not about trying to look younger or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about embracing the beauty that's uniquely yours right now. Every single change in your appearance is a reflection of the life you've lived, the wisdom you've gained, and the confidence that grows with each passing year. Your hairstyle is just one more way to express that inner strength and beauty. So, what's the next step for you? Is there a small adjustment you're ready to make? Whether it's finally getting those regular trims, finding a new style that works with your natural growth patterns, or discovering the perfect accessory that makes you feel fabulous. The journey to feeling great about your hair doesn't have to be difficult. In fact, it can be empowering and fun. Remember, it's not about chasing an impossible ideal. It's about celebrating who you are today, with all the grace and vibrancy that comes with the years. Don't forget, simple changes can make a huge difference. Whether it's modernizing an old hairstyle, embracing your natural silver, or using the right products, The possibilities are endless. I want to hear from you. Which of these tips resonated with you the most? Which mistake are you going to fix first? Share in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more tips that celebrate your beauty at every stage of life. You've earned every single strand of wisdom, confidence, and beauty that comes with age. Honor your unique journey, and your hair will reflect that inner brilliance every day. Keep shining,